go to put himself in position to win that dual race. And that's what you want to do. When you see that outside line coming, one of these cars up here is going to poke out and say, I want to be the first one in line.
How about Ricky Stenhouse? He's all the way up, gained 20 spots.
Yeah, and he's being aggressive right now. You see him pushing the back bumper of Corey LaJoie, and we know Stenhouse is one of the best at these super speedways. He's had multiple races. You see him go down the hill right there, Clint, to try to get a side draft off that 48 car to help him go forward, but also to pull them back.
It's time for aggression.
And they just have to break free of that outside lane in order to make some time. I mean, when these cars are 3 wide like that, it just drags those lines all the way back. And that's why you see that bottom lane, so many cars out ahead of those top 2 lanes.
Look how far back Chase Elliott and William Byron went. They went clear to the back of this thing, got behind the wrong car, couldn't push on Bubba Wallace's bumper, and boy, they paid the price. They were all but leading this thing when it started.
Well, that inside lane has pulled ahead, led by the 2 Penske Fords of Cindric and Blaney.
You see Chase Elliott right there. He finally ran out of cars to get passed by, and he had to fall into that middle lane. That was how long it took him to make a lane change, and it ultimately was just every car that was below him.
And we talked about that. Allgaier and Stenhouse right now at the top of the biggest movers off the pace. Byron, Wallace, and Elliott, 23 positions.
Larson mired in that middle lane. Can't go up, can't go down, can't go forward.
Yeah, and we haven't seen a lot out of that 5 car tonight. It just doesn't seem... Well, we've heard him all weekend talk about working on the speed of his car when he's at the back of the pack, and we've said this as well. You have to have a fast car to be on offense. Otherwise, you're at the mercy of whatever happens around you.
Well, I'm glad you said that. Now, if I'm a Chase Elliott or a Bubba Wallace or any of those guys, now going through their mind is, where do I... We know it's probably going to have a wreck, and it's probably going to be a big one, and it'll probably start at the front. Where do I get myself to avoid that wreck? I do not want to be right in the meat of the sandwich.
Well, 33 cars on the lead lap. Statistically, at this point, from 5th to 25th is the danger zone, based on past practice.
Sure seems like a big danger zone to me.
When you're Austin Cindric up there and Ryan Blaney, and you've got this single file, the spotter's telling you, all right, bottom lane, 6 cars clear. Bottom lane, 6 cars clear, and you're like, oh, another lap, I finally get to relax. But you know by the end of this race, it's going to get intense.
LaJoie's back and forth from the middle to the outside, blocking these lines. It's starting to stack up behind him. Keep an eye on this.
I'm curious about the front of the pack. At the end of stage 2, they were running in this same order. Ryan Blaney let Cindric get out in front and then used a push from Chase Elliott to win stage 2. What does this Penske duo have in store for the final lap of this race?
Watch this lap car right here. I mean, the Penske guys are going to... Okay, Ty Dillon got out of the way, because if we would have gone into the corner right there 4 wide, that was going to have the potential for chaos. Sorry, Mike.
You're fine. Noah Gragson slipped up from the bottom groove into the middle, and Alex Bowman covers his spot. Justin Allgaier in the 40 moves up, and here comes Suarez. You just don't dare get out of that bottom lane if you can.
Well,
Not right now.
Well, it's so tempting, and you see Stenhouse and LaJoie still trying to make some ground up there, and they are making some ground, but they've got to quit changing lanes so much, because if they'll just stay organized and stay in that middle lane right there, I believe they can make more ground. But everybody wants to pass everybody, and this is what happens.
You can see they're not working together. They're not teammates. They don't care. They're each out for each other, and that's the difference between them and the 2 Penske Fords at the front of the field. Discipline.
Well, the other ones that are disciplined in these RCR cars, Kyle Busch and his teammate Austin Dillon, 20 years of trying. Mike, I keep hearing you call that race in my head. Well, can it be?
We see that second lane right there. Kyle Busch is doing a great job of saving gas and trying to put himself in position to where he can be full throttle. You heard his team tell him he was short, but they've been riding around here with no pressure, and they've let these guys get back into the race by being able to not have any pressure from that middle lane.
Here is Kyle Busch talking about just this situation.
Kyle Busch, 39. Las Vegas, Nevada. Our goals for this year, we got to get back to victory lane. 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins, 5 wins, 10 wins, I don't care, but being back to victory lane is definitely where it's at. I've got a couple favorite tracks in the early part of the season. Daytona 500, obviously, I want to win that one. We put ourselves in really good spots to have a shot to win the Daytona 500 in the last 10 laps. Just hasn't come out right for us.
Here he comes.
Yeah, and Stenhouse and LaJoie are doing a great job. Ricky has become super aggressive with the back of that car, and the car